Hi, my name is Zizaran, and I am gonna go check out all the Path of Exile Legion trailers and do comments on everything. I'll pause anything or start commenting when I feel I have something to comment on. I haven't seen anything ahead of time except that ZiggyD posted a tweet saying it's a new Breach League and he was excited about Melee. So other than that, nothing has been spoiled. We're gonna go check it out. This is my first impressions. Also, new Purple League!
In the heat of battle.
Thank you, Darkrell. Alerts are off at the moment. Love you. It's a long time. I'm acting so hard right now.
An eternity passes, and the battle is won or lost.
It's actually Breach League. Oh, they're using melee! Yo. No, hold up. Hold up. That was a big ass cyclone. Hold up. I'm not ready. I'm not finished. A little bit longer. Wow, that's a nice cyclone. Okay, no, this is not a nice showcase of melee because attacking a rare should not take that many hits. I'm hoping that they just have a trash build, but that should not be what melee. You should be showcasing it one-hitting it.
We know not why we fight.
We know only that we must. We are the damned. We are Legion!
Well, that gave me chills. Oh, hello? I like how they're showcasing only melee. Can I see Winter Orb, please? Hello? Have you seen my friend, the Winter Orb? CDPS showcase.
In the Legion League, you'll discover timeless monoliths. When activated, they reveal a frozen battle between two armies from reclasses past. Break open the monsters and chests with the most valuable rewards before the time runs out. Be careful which monsters you free, as the most rewarding are also the most dangerous.
That is the most yikes mechanic I have seen introduced to the game so far, just on paper. What is this? I have to run around and free the monsters?
Be careful which monsters you free, as the most rewarding are also the most dangerous.
Thank you so much, IDD. Alerts are off at the moment. Love you.
Journey to the domain of timeless conflict, where the eternal battle between the legions and their generals rages.
Path of Exile Legion also contains an extensive rework of melee combat. We've made all movement skills start instantly, added animation cancelling, made all skills draw their ranges correctly, changed all melee skills to be able to hit multiple adjacent added animation cancelling, made animation cancelling, made all skills, added animation cancelling.
Oh my god.
Made all skills draw their ranges correctly, changed all melee skills to be able to hit multiple adjacent enemies, and fixed up damage timing, ranges, and shapes across all attacks. Instant speed movement and defensive skills now let you respond to incoming attacks effectively. We've also overhauled the animation system to support chaining attacks together and better attack signaling. And we've also improved targeting, attack queuing, and hit feedback. In addition, we've extensively rebalanced all melee skills, melee ascendancy classes, added more defensive options for melee, removed the cap on chance to hit, and have made mechanical changes to certain skills like Cyclone, which is now a channeled skill.
That was sort of glossed over.
Certain skills like added more defensive options for melee, removed the cap on chance to hit, and have made mechanical changes to certain skills like Cyclone, which is now a channeled skill. With all the melee combat improvements, we wanted players to be able to respond to monster attacks more easily. So we decided to rebalance many older monster skills, improving their signaling and giving the player the ability to dodge their attacks. You can check out Path of Exile Legion on June the 7th.
Wait, but that's not Chris talking. Now, because the voice changed suddenly. Is that Jonathan? Or who is that? Rory. Okay. Well, I mean, huh. I want to read through this first and then I'll check the Sigi video. But I don't know, like the mechanic looks weird. Trapped for thousands of years in the domains of the timeless conflict, the mightiest military leaders of Ray-class history have been fighting an eternal war. In Path of Exile Legion, you will free their legions from the endless battle and defeat them in combat to earn their valuable rewards. The mechanic looks really slow, yeah. Path of Exile June's expansion contains the Legion Challenge League, new items, new gems, a game-wide overhaul of melee combat, and much, much more. Timeless Monoliths. As you explore Rayclass in Legion League, you'll discover monoliths. Tag these to reveal an ancient conflict between multiple legions frozen in time. Untether monsters by dealing damage to them, but be prepared to fight those monsters when the effect of the monolith wears off. As certain monsters are powerful and drop valuable items, Legion grants you full control over risk and reward. So, Winter Orb then. Gonna be interesting. The Domain of Timeless Conflict. Wait, was there anything? No. Wow. Screenshots. That'd be a kind of cool MTX. The Domain of Timeless Conflict. Enemies from each of the 5 Legion drop splinters, which combine together to form an emblem of that Legion. Breach? Place 2 or more emblems from different legions in the map device to gain access to the Domain of Timeless Conflict, where the eternal battle between those legions rages. Unlock and upgrade the map device in order to fight the ultimate conflict between all 5 legions. Hold up. Unlock the upgraded map device in order to fight the... Hold up. Well, this opens more opportunities. Chevron 5 locked. I'm gonna put things in that receptacle. I didn't know I needed that. Nice. Timeless Marquette Splinter. Timeless Templar Splinter. Emblem Karui. Legion item rewards. Some Legion monsters display symbols indicating the specific items they drop. Skilled players will focus on freeing the monsters that maximize the type of rewards they are seeking. Certain monsters can drop incubation items, which modify a piece of equipment to guarantee a certain reward after you have killed a specific number of monsters. Adds an incubated valuable currency item to an equipable item. This is like Pokemon! We have to walk our items now? This is literally Pokemon. A 1,000 monsters? That's one map though. 5,000 monsters, so that's like 2 maps with sextants. We're Pokemon! Why, dude? Oh my god, can you imagine if this was introduced during Bestiary League? That would be even more fun. They should have. They should have put this during. Honey? Path of Exile is now Pokemon. Do you know how in Pokemon you can walk your eggs and they grow? We have that in PoE now. Yeah, it's Path of Exile Go now. Nice. How does that work? So for example, this you put this on an item and then you kill 5,000 monsters, and after you've killed 5,000 monsters, it hatches. It's very original. Incubating unique weapon. Huh. Incubating harbinger item. Literally eggs. Step counter, yeah. Have to change them every 2 maps. Yeah, this is gonna be so fun to micromanage. Can you guys like... it's gonna be so cool to like keep changing this out every like 2 or 3 maps. Legion jewels. From each of the 5 legions, it's possible to earn a special unique jewel that can be socketed into your passive skill tree. Each of the 5 jewel modifiers nearby passive skills in different ways, providing completely new character customization options if you're skilled enough to acquire one. Glorious Vanity. Bathed in the blood of 5,173, sacrificed in the name of Doriani passives in the radius are conquered by the Val Historic. I don't get it. Watch the Ziggy video, I will do. No problem. When are you getting home? Okay. 6? That's late. Alright. Love you. Melee combat revamp. We've addressed most of the core issues with melee combat in Path of Exile. You can now cancel... By that, they mean that Winter Orb is removed. You can now cancel attack animations after they deal their damage. Movement skills are now instant, and new low-level movement skills have been added for many classes. Huh? New low-level movement skills have been added for many classes? All melee attacks can now hit multiple adjacent enemies. The animation system has been overhauled, and the monster targeting rules improved. Accuracy is no longer capped at 95%. There are more changes to melee combat than possible to list here. With these changes, plus the rebounds on most melee skills, create an entirely new combat experience. I really want to push that with Cyclope. Well, the reason she has the same hair as me is that was the sub goal. New build archetypes. The new Blood and Sand Gladiator archetype can switch between Blood stance and Sand stance, dynamically modifying the function of new and existing skills. The new Rage Berserker archetype revamps the rage system and introduces new skills that generate and consume rage. These powerful archetypes and their new skills offer additional options for many other Path of Exile builds. Hello? 2 new reservation effects lets you switch between Blood and Sand stances. New and reworked skills have different behavior in each stance, like Blade Storm. Blade is finally here. Which causes bleeding bloodstorms in blood stance and blinding sandstorms in sand stance. Oh. Defensive and mobility skills. Dash and Steel Skin lets you instantly respond to dangerous enemy attacks by avoiding them or protecting you from damage. Rage skills. 2 new attack skills will let you easily generate rage, a stacking buff that gives you a powerful attack bonus and no longer has a downside. Finally, the Berserk skill will let you consume this rage for massive bonuses. Massive. A new aura and support gems will further enhance its melee playstyle. Early game monster balance. Hailrake now 1 hits. With all the melee combat improvements, player can dodge out of the way of attacks easily. We have taken advantage of this by rebalancing monster attacks that have used the poor signaling to now have wind up. This rebalance extends to improving monster AI and boss fights throughout the early campaign. Powerful new items. Alongside 14 divination cards, Path of Exile Legion contains 12 new unique items. In addition, we have chosen 15 existing uniques that are themed around Legion's 5 armies and have rebalanced them, career reward, so that they become powerful rewards to find in the new league. And remember that all the new divination cards are made by players. Bone Helmet, Elder item. Item level 80 Bone Helmet. That's... he really should have locked that at 86. Because eye level 80. 10 Exalted Orbs. I'm not a big fan of the Exalted Orb cards. I'm not. He wanted it actually available. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's not a bad name. Bad card. It's a good card. It's just... Okuna's Will. Cast speed, zombies. Zombies do not require a corpse. Your raised zombies counts as corpus. So you can DD your own zombies? Oh, this looks like a fucking actually amazing item. I don't think it'll be expensive. Just looking at it, because it looks clunky, but you can DD your own zombies. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Just wait until the box DDs your zombies. I can't wait for the rip video. I'm not playing with these, but it'll be hilarious. Can you imagine? Dude, that would be such a funny rip. Like level 99, pushing ladder. Boom, Bameth kills you. Maw of Conquest. 94% crit, 68 life. Low ES. Unaffected by poison. But not immune. Unaffected. Not immune. 30% of damage gain is life. Oh, 4 seconds. Oh, one hit. So not degens. Yeah, blessed. Will's Protector has been... What's Inner Conviction? So Will's Protection... May work? Are they trying to bring back Cock Discharge? That's in Ziggy's vid tall. I mean, I wish I got some of this insider shit. Let's see. In power charges instead of frenzy charges. Alright. Wait. Do you mean other way around? 38 to 92. Nothing really changed here, did it? Slightly more damage. Oh, 70 life and 70 mana. That's pretty cool to get for leveling. I'll probably rather a Bright Peak with the Bistrels. Wrathpith Globe. Sacrifice 4% of your life when you use or trigger a spell. 2% crit chance. 2% crit chance if you have 10,000, you get 200% crit. And 200% spell damage. Interesting. But sacrifice 4% of your life? Ah! A lot of spell damage and crit though. Huh. Interesting. So Winter Orb? I don't know how to work with Winter Orb. I don't like that one that much. Well, the armor looks cool, but the head looks shit. Right, let me look at the supporter box. Just gonna, like, always like, worried it's gonna like randomly open up my details. Hey, Red Panda, I'm good, dude. How are you? I don't know. I kind of think this looks trash. Didn't it even look better here? Wait, why does it look different? Wait, I'm confused. This is like... I'm confused. This looks cool. This looks trash. Am I the only one? This looks like it's missing some stuff. There's like cool gold bits here. This is like... You know those like... Burger King or McDonald's commercials? This is like the burger in the commercial. And then you buy it and this is what you got. I mean, this looks garbage too, but this looks even more garbage. I'm actually not buying that. This actually straight up is garbage. It somehow looks worse than in the actual preview thing. I'm gonna ask you thing for the 2 months, dude. I mean, this looks really good, to be fair. This is like the Chad MTX. This actually looks badass. You really like it? I think it looks garbage. But okay, I mean, if people like it, I'll probably still buy it. I probably won't. I don't know. I can't make up my mind. I'm buying this. This looks great. I have these. Thank you, DQ, for the 4 months. Check how the hood works. Is there a cool hood? Right, I'm gonna watch the Ziggy video. This is it.
G'day, I'm Ziggy D, and welcome to my reveal of Path of Exile's 3.7 expansion, Legion.
In the heat of battle, a single moment may fill an eternity.
Path of Exile's history is one filled with war and bloodshed. In Legion, we'll discover armies of Rayclass' 5 greatest generals locked in eternal battle inside of the domain of timeless conflict. In classic Exile fashion, we'll be intervening in these battles to satisfy our unceasing lust for carnage and loot.
Let's go.
Legion will also be getting us ready for battle with the biggest overhaul to melee combat to date. I'll be covering all of this and more in this reveal video, so strap in because it's a big one. Legion is unashamedly GGG's fresh take on one of the community's all-time favorite leagues, Breach. In each area, we'll find a monolith, which upon activating will reveal 2 armies frozen right in the midst of battle. There's a short time after activating where we can shatter the bonds of time, locking them in place. And when the initial timer expires, the armies will disappear, and all freed soldiers will unfreeze and continue their battle, which we will then be caught in the middle of. The idea here is a simple one that should prove effective. Hit the monolith and free as many enemies as possible. Of course, if we free too many to handle, we may be overwhelmed, so there's a solid element of player agency in determining the level of risk versus reward that we take on. Some special enemies will have symbols over their heads for bonus rewards that they'll drop on death, and there'll also be special chests containing additional loot that we can tag. With a limited time window, players will have to scout out and free as many desired rewards as possible. Legion monsters can also drop splinters, which will combine to form emblems representing their legion. This is a familiar concept to fans of Breach, and these emblems give us access to the endgame of Legion, entering the domain of timeless conflict. Emblems from different legions can be placed together within the map device to open the domain where these armies engage in fierce battle. We'll be able to hunt down special loot enemies and chests as well as fight the generals of the legions. Of course, placing 2 emblems together, such as the Templar and the Varl, will open a domain where these 2 legions will be in the middle of battle. But, as you may have guessed, a more dangerous battle with more valuable rewards can be found by placing 3 or even 4 emblems together to access a 3 or 4-way battle. But wait, there is indeed more. Through a certain unknown challenge, we'll be able to, for the first time ever, unlock a 5-slot map device. This will of course allow us to take on the ultimate endgame of Legion, a battle between all 5 of the legions at once.
Are these going to be frozen and let me attack them twice as well?
The 5-slot map device will also allow players to further modify regular maps with up to 4 fragments or scarabs for more juicy regular endgame content.
Scarabs were already a problem with just 3 of them. Don't worry guys, we got more micromanagement and now 4 scarabs.
In addition to the varied rewards dropped by special monsters in the Legion, there will of course also be a selection of new and revamped uniques, themed after each of the legions. The first example I have here today is Akuna's Will, which seems to come from the Maraketh. These gloves allow you to raise zombies without needing corpses, and it makes it so that your zombies count as corpses. The potential here is rather exciting as it means you can use skills such as Detonate Dead or Body Swap on your zombies. However, beware of enemies or strong boxes that can detonate corpses, which may well turn this mechanic against you. GGG has also taken a new approach here to revamping some of the less used and weaker unique items by actually removing them from the regular drop pool, giving them some new features and adding them as a drop to the legions. Vol's Protector is an example of one such unique, which will now be likely available through the Templar Legion. A new keystone passive, Inner Conviction, has been added to the item. This Keystone passive causes you to gain power charges instead of frenzy charges, and gives your power charges an added spell damage bonus. Legion is not stopping there though. With Incubation Items, get ready to hatch some eggs containing even more loot. Incubation Items are a new type of currency that modify a piece of gear with a kill counter, which when reached will pop out a guaranteed item. You can have multiple items incubating at once, basically as many as you have items equipped. There are different type of incubations, like this Blacksmith Incubator, which drops a random unique weapon when you've killed 2,000 monsters. This system kind of came out of nowhere, but it seems to be GGG experimenting with some alternative ways of getting somewhat deterministic loot. Also, the idea of incubating little loot eggs is kind of cute.
I actually hate
I'm
it.
personally ready to experiment with becoming a mama bird.
I actually hate it.
The Legion loot that
So
I'm
much.
most excited for, however, is the new game-changing jewels that will also be available from the higher end of Legion content. Each of the 5 Legions has a unique jewel, and these will modify.
Hold up! What is this skill tree? This is all over the place! I want to start up a Sunday roast right now! What is this? What is the explanation from this? Holy shit! I don't even have words! Wow!
The passive tree in a rather spectacular fashion. The Vaal Legion jewel, for example, corrupts the passives within its radius, completely changing what they do. This even includes keystones, which can become corrupted keystones. Even more exciting is that these jewels are different every time, dropping with different seeds that change the passives in different ways. So
That's
Vaal
why?
jewels will give
No!
different
That does not mean why! Those the starter nodes still make no
corruptions to the
sense!
same passives. This to me seems like such a game changer. I personally love the design of the Elder Jewels Watcher's Eyes with their huge variety and potentially ridiculous combos. It's always exciting to identify one. The design of these Legion jewels seems to follow that concept and is taking it to crazy levels since it's going to add a whole
Be
new
a
level of build
deck-stacking build.
customization. Chris also mentioned to me that the seed of the jewel will be identifiable through the jewel's flavor text, which will mean that the community can explore these jewels together and, of course, trade them. We don't even know yet what the other Legion jewels will do, but I'm already super excited about the Vaal Legion jewels alone. But that's enough about loot for now. Let's talk about the other massive set of changes coming to the Legion expansion, the complete melee revamp. Most importantly here, GGG has improved the melee experience at the fundamental level with changes to the core gameplay mechanics. Chris Wilson said that melee has been described by players as clunky, especially at the early stages of the game, and they wanted to address most of these core issues with melee in one go. So, let's go through what that means. There's a lot going on here, so get ready. Firstly, you can now cancel
looks
attack
nice.
animations. You are free to do this right after damage has been dealt, or before if you change your mind and need to avoid an incoming attack. This change alone is designed to make melee combat feel much more responsive, and will afford us better control over our characters, though I do imagine it may take some getting used to. This change in particular is tied in with all movement skills now having instant activation, which means you can animation cancel a slow attack that would have locked you in place with a movement skill to avoid an incoming attack. Additionally, a selection of new low-level movement skills have been added to help many classes in the early game, such as Dash, this quick dodging dexterity skill. As a personal note, I have to imagine that these combined changes alone will have a pretty big impact on the responsiveness of combat, and we'll likely see a rather large increase in the skill ceiling, which is exciting in the context of PoE racing and speed leveling. There is more though. All melee attacks can now hit multiple adjacent enemies with a small melee splash style effect. This should improve the early game for a lot of skills, as well as making it easier to connect with desired targets if there are several monsters in the area. The timing of when damage is dealt relative to animations has been improved as well, along with fixed ranged indications for all attacks in the game. I think this clip of a two-handed heavy strike on Duresso communicates it pretty well how much more accurate the blows look and feel. The animation system overall has been overhauled too, with support for animation chaining and dynamic speed changes. This should all help the combat look and feel better and more accurate. Melee targeting has also been improved, with the game now automatically retargeting a new monster near your cursor if you kill your current target but are still holding down the attack button. This should make it so that spam clicking isn't necessary to ensure that you have a target when attacking with melee skills. Various other systems have been changed as well, which will likely be further detailed in the coming weeks. Accuracy, for example, is no longer capped at 95%, so that you can reach 100% accuracy without needing Resolute Technique. And of course, this expansion also contains an end-to-end rebalance to melee attacks in a similar fashion to how the last expansion went over spells. This of course includes some very anticipated reworks for some of the skills like Cyclone, which is now a channeled skill. With all of the improvements to melee gameplay and with players having much better control over their characters, GGG has also decided to work on the opposite side of things as well, the enemies. These improvements have been especially focused on some of the slow and somewhat dated early game content. The changes are rather expansive, including improved monster AI, new monster skills, better boss fights, and more polish generally to the early areas that GGG says will bring them up to a 2019 standard. You can see some of this improvement already in the improved early boss fights. You expect to see monsters perform much more signaled attacks, and with the improvements on the player side of things, skilled movement, positioning, and dodging is now much more possible as a result. You can see a much more noticeable wind-up on skills and even the melee attacks of bosses. Many of the early boss fights have also been made generally more intense and exciting with new skills and more dangerous attacks. Kaduku item crafting rituals are about to become a whole lot more intense. Endgame has not been forgotten as well, with many bosses and Atlas maps reworked. This includes the Sunken City boss, the Gardens boss fight, and finally an improved Coward's Trial unique map. Mostly we're seeing improved boss fights with more monster spawns, abilities, and some pathing and layout improvements to less well-liked maps. Legion also includes 2 new melee-focused build archetypes that group some of the new skills and mechanics. The Rage Berserker and the Blood and Sand Gladiator.
Bottle Faith again.
While Berserker and Gladiator most closely align to these new archetypes, many of the new skills and tools are available for other builds to use as well. The Blood and Sand archetype features a new stance mechanic, which allows you to reserve some mana to enter either blood or sand stances, which you can change between at will. Blood stance is focused on up-close damage for tougher enemies, and Sand is focused on area killing and speed. Blade Storm is a new melee skill that slashes enemies around you and creates a blood storm or a sandstorm depending on what stance you're in. Some old skills like Lacerate will also interact with the new stances. These additions also come...
Is it just me, or does this just look like Sweep? It just looks like Sweep to me.
Alongside a rework to the Gladiator Ascendancy. The second new archetype is the Rage Berserker. Berserker and the Rage mechanic have been overhauled in Legion, with Rage no longer draining life by default.
Blood and Sand.
The Berserker will, however, have a mechanic that restores the health draining effect in order to gain increased power. Rage now also interacts with several of the new and have a mechanic that restores the health draining effect in order to gain increased power.
Come here!
Rage now also interacts with several of the new and revamped skills. The new skill Chain Strike is a movement attack that pulls you to enemies, damaging them and generating rage. Move over Flicker Strike, Brutus boys are coming through. There will also be a new skill called Berserk that rapidly consumes rage to give you more damage, attack speed, and movement speed, and less damage taken. The Berserker Ascendancy will be featuring reworked bonuses that interact with both rage and the Berserk skill. This is only a basic overview of some of the new skills and archetypes coming in Legion, with more details to come over the next few weeks. Now that's what I have for now as far as new reveals go, so I wanted to share some of my initial thoughts. In the shadow of the complexity of some of the recent leagues, a straightforward combat-oriented league mechanic is what a lot of players have been asking for. Legion looks like it'll fit the bill, and modeling it after Breach is a promising idea, of course. Legion could well prove to be a better Breach with the player agency over how much challenge we take on in each encounter. Breach had the issue where you would sometimes get empty breaches, and other times you'd be overwhelmed by a crazy breach full of Tull Frostbladers. Legion's design of giving us control over how many monsters we fight could well be a real winner. Only time will tell how good it feels to actually play, of course, but Legion does win a lot of points with me personally, thanks to its reward structure. Build-changing unique design and jewels that follow high variance, high impact design of the Watcher's Eye jewels are an exciting thing to chase after, I think. And the idea of getting in the middle of 4 or 5-way battles is quite an exciting premise to me. It's always been one of my favorite things in games when you come across NPCs duking it out. The melee changes look to be exceeding my personal expectations of what we'd be getting as well. I did expect new skills and reworks, maybe with some improvements to animations and such, but things like animation cancelling, instant move skills, and targeting changes are a real game changer for the game. I think there is some potential here that some of these changes may introduce new problems that we have to deal with, like players accidentally cancelling attacks when they didn't mean to, but this may just require an adjustment period. The potential for these changes greatly increasing the skill ceiling of racing and competitive play is just very exciting to me, especially since the competitive scene has really been ramping up of late. This is just honestly way more than I expected personally when GGG said they'd be doing a simpler league mechanic and expansion, especially since so much work is happening on 4.0 and Exile Con at the moment. But that's enough from me. I'm curious what you guys think. Does this take on the Breach style get you amped? Is this what you were hoping for with Melee? Please feel free to leave your thoughts and questions in the comments below, and I'll answer what I can and make some follow-up videos if I can as well. I'm looking forward to spending the entire reveal day going over your comments and reactions. It's almost become a bit of a ritual for me at this point. It's one of my favorite things about doing what I do is soaking up those initial reactions. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. I'll see you in Legion. I'm Ziggy D, and thanks for watching.
What does this have to do with Breach? Why are they like holding Breach in front of us? This looks like at first look, I hate the mechanic. The mechanic looks like mega fucking dog shit. And I mean, it's obviously easy to say that without having played it, but oh my god, it looks like fucking horrible, bad Essence League. What? It looks super yikes. Am I the only one who's like, this is like mega dog shit? It looks like, why do I have to attack it twice? What is this? I have to like go unlock them and then... Oh my god. Okay, but I'm excited about a lot of stuff too. It looks really bad, yeah. It's Essence Breached, yeah. It looks super mega bad. It looks like... It does not look fun. It looks like it's gonna become such a chore. After like a full day. It's gonna be... You're gonna be hating it. After a full day of this, you're gonna be like... I don't want to do that. Just let us fight the monsters. Stop being ready? What the fuck are you talking about? And like, how is this mechanic supposed to be inclusive for Melee? Can you imagine running around? I want to unlock that monster. Oh, look over there. I'm gonna go over there. Gonna unlock that monster. Oh, there's another one over there. I'll unlock that one. Right, let's see. I want that one. Oh, that one has a good reward. And then after like 20 minutes of unlocking the monsters, all right, now we're gonna go again. We're gonna fight them. Or run around, Winter Orb, kill everything. Just mop them up. Just mop them up. This does not look... This looks very tedious after a full day. Oh, come on. You didn't even give it a chance. No, that's true. I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong. It just looks really tedious. You're right. I haven't given it a chance, and I don't have a lot of experience with Path of Exile. It's not like this has been my life for the last 5 years. I could be wrong. Hyperbole much? Yeah, I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong. I would love to be like, this is the best league I've ever played, and this is the most fun mechanic. I'm really enjoying running around, unlocking all these monsters, and then killing them afterwards. I would love for that to happen. I don't think so. It's literally a tiny 5 to 8 seconds. It's going to add up and be so boring so fast. Don't worry, your skills with automatic targeting is just going to lock onto one target and keep hitting it. Like, backtracking doesn't feel good. It never does. Can you give me one example in Path of Exile of... Where's Nugi? I don't know. I thought it'd be started by now. Can you give me one example in Path of Exile where backtracking has ever felt good? They found the Warb nerf we needed. Main King Supreme, thank you for the 3 months. Breach? No, I said where it felt good. Breach backtracking is fun. Okay, we have different ideas of fun. We have different ideas of fun. Oh my god. Oh, I don't know. There is a lot of stuff I am excited about. The changes with the melee stuff look amazing. Like the yeah, I actually think I'm gonna watch the full bay class. We're doing an IRL stream at like 12. Which was the least tedious to you? What do you mean? You're gonna play vanilla? Yeah. Bay class is great. Yeah, I might watch it. Yeah, we're doing IRL stream. Hold on, let me go check on Noogie. Go look at Wrathbith again. Think about. Yeah. Ooh, wow. That's right. Okay, Noogie will be going live shortly. He was struggling with sound and he hadn't clicked the on button. Which I'm gonna bully him for because that was funny. Right. Yeah. So okay. Where is it? Here. I mean, I'm very excited about a lot of the... Did you know about the Feint Buzzing sound? Yes. It's going to be fine. Don't stress so much. Did you say that about synthesis? I totally see and I agree with you what you're saying, but not everybody is a racer, and some people are okay with spending 5 seconds on something instead of... But that's not going to be... That's still a huge chance of that being really repetitive and boring. It's got nothing to do about racing. It just doesn't seem like a fun mechanic to do repeatedly. Like, are you like, whenever you're clicking essence, are you like, click, 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 ah, yeah. You can kill them while unlocking? Didn't seem like it. Yeah, but there's big difference between fun and boring repetitiveness. If I can kill them while unlocking them, that'd be great. But it didn't look like that in the video. But, like, okay, so positive things, like, the melee changes look amazing. The animation canceling sounds fucking great. Did you think Breach was fun? Just curious. It was okay, bit overrated, but yeah. Melee looks trash still. I mean, Cyclone looked nice. I want to play Cyclone. And the animation canceling sounds great. I do want some Tempest. No, Incursion got really boring fast. Well, like, Breach has been nerfed a lot over time. When it first came out, it was like a loot explosion. Sounds like you don't like any league. I like lots of leagues. Yeah, I'll check the podcast. But I don't understand what this is supposed to have in common with Breach, except that it has splinters. It's not the same mechanic at all. It's not mechanically similar to Breach in any way, except that it has splinters. The only reason they're saying, oh, this is similar to Breach is because everybody loved Breach. It was a fan favorite. And they fucked up so hard with synthesis. Actually, I loved synthesis. I thought it was fucking great. But on like a player-based scale, 95% hated synthesis. So the only reason they're saying this is Breach is to bring more people back. Let's see what Carve said. To be honest, I think it would be better that the mobs you attack don't release to fight you, and double-clicking the monolith would instantly start to fight. Yeah, that would sound better. What a fucking cynical way to look at it. Why? What do you feel then, Montoya? What do you feel is similar here to Breach? You activate something and then wait around to kill mobs. Literally breach. You activate the breach and then it opens and you're instantly killing monsters. Did GGG actually say it's like breach though? Yeah, they were like, Ziggy was like, oh, they said it's inspired by breach. Choose your own density breach. And it feels like start of league reveals 99% people completely lose critical thinking and just ride the hype wave regardless of the way they show. Yeah. This is like very little, if anything, in common with breach. Legion seems to have 10% of the monsters of breach. Yeah, it does. What would you do differently? I don't know, have them all be like fighting each other from the start? Or like Carve said, that you click the monolith and maybe if you want to lock away some monsters that you don't want to fight, make that lock it up. If you want everything at start, double click it. I think you're making mountains out of molehills. All features in this patch are going to be between decent and excellent. Well, pardon me for not being glassy-eyed and expecting everything to be perfect. Pardon me for being critical. This doesn't look amazing. It doesn't look exciting. I'm excited for so many of the other changes, but not the league itself. I'd rather be on the more like, I don't even know what the word is. Be on like the more less hype train and then be surprised. Like I'm more skeptical. So many people, every league are like, oh my god, this is the best league ever. And then when it's not great, they're like, oh, I quit. Or you could be on the ZED dollar train. I'm just not sold on this. It just didn't. I'm just very skeptical. I would rather be pleasantly surprised. I'm gonna play it. I'm not skipping it. I'm ready to be wowed, right? I'm ready to be like, oh, this is so great. I'm really enjoying like, oh, I'm gonna unlock that monster. I'm gonna unlock that monster. I'm gonna unlock that monster. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to try that. I'm not expecting that. You don't have to kill him twice, I think. Just boop him slightly, and after you counter, start the killing spree. You still have to hit them twice. Rich J Money, thanks so much for the 37 months. Being King Supreme, thank you for the 3. Alerts are off at the moment. At least the sound. Thanks so much, Rich. You're only concerned for the encounters, or are you concerned for the itemization and rewards and the endgame progress too? It doesn't look like a fun repetitive mechanic. Is it really surprising that people sit on the hype train and that any critical comment is bad? No, not really. The league content doesn't look very exciting to me. It doesn't. All the other stuff does. Like the melee changes look amazing. The animation canceling is like hyper mega ultra pog. Literally like hyper ultra mega pog. Like there's loads of exciting things. The jewels seem, yes, and the jewels look really exciting.